Okay, Bill and Hillary Clinton have, since I was a little kid, I mean, since I was like 4 or 5 years old, was when he was governor in Arkansas. Their entire career is they were public servants and they ran a charity. And they're worth like $100 million. Barack and Michelle Obama. He goes into the White House. Look at the house he lives in now. It's all just kind of like, oh, how much money can I extract from this pot?
Imagine this. A politician steps into office, a fresh suit, a big smile, promising to fight for you. They're making a modest salary, nothing wild. Fast forward a few years and they're walking out multimillionaires, sipping cocktails in mansions while you're still paying taxes. How does that happen? Hard work? Genius investments? Or is the deck stacked against us from the jump? We're tearing into a bombshell convo between Joe Rogan and Dave Smith on the Joe Rogan Experience. They're calling out the Obamas' $70 million glow-up, but this isn't just about them. It's a playbook that presidents, senators, and even your local representative have been running for decades. You're about to see how they're cashing in your dime, and they don't want you to know it. Buckle up, this is going to get wild. The Obama money mystery.
Yeah, very rarely came up. It was just kind of accepted that like all of these people are rich.
Yeah.
And we don't really know where they got their money from.
Let's start with the basics. Joe Rogan on his podcast, eyes wide, going, hold up. The Obamas made $400,000 a year as president, and now they're worth $70 million? What's the trick, man? It's a fair question. Barack Obama was a senator pulling $165,000 a year before the White House. Michelle? She was at the University of Chicago Medical Center, adding maybe $300,000 tops. Together, they earned $20.5 million from 2005 to 2016. Decent, but not buy a $12 million beach house money. So how'd they hit $70 million? Graph pops up, salary flat, wealth explodes post-2017. Rogan sniffing around saying, this ain't adding up. And he's right, something's cooking. Book deals, speeches, Netflix, it's a gold rush, and it starts when they leave office. How do you turn a government gig into a fortune like that? Is this the American dream or a rigged game? The public servant illusion.
Dude, the Clintons, okay, Bill and Hillary Clinton have, since I was a little kid, I mean, since I was like 4 or 5 years old, was when he was governor in Arkansas. Their entire career is they were public servants and they ran a charity. And they're worth like $100 million or something like that. Like, wait a minute, huh? Wait a minute, so you guys haven't been practicing law any of this time? You haven't been working in some industry where you've made tons of money. You were public servants who make, healthy salaries, but not like that's going to put you in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And you ran a charity, the Clinton Foundation. And now somehow you're Barack and Michelle Obama.
Let's look at the cold, hard numbers on a broader scale, because numbers don't lie, right? The Obamas made $400,000 a year in the White House. How do you turn that into $70 million in a decade? It's not just them. It's the game. A United States senator pulls $174,000 a year. Decent, sure, but not buy a yacht money. Yet study after study shows politicians' net worth explodes after office. Take Nancy Pelosi. Her family is worth over $120 million now. Mitch McConnell? Tens of millions. These aren't outliers. It's the norm. If they lived on their salaries, they'd have a nice suburban house, maybe a Prius, not private jets and beachfront estates. So what's the secret sauce? Spoiler, it's not thriftiness. It's book deals, speaking gigs, and some moves so slick you'd think they're straight out of a heist movie. How do you turn a government paycheck into a fortune without breaking a sweat? Is this just public service or extra steps? But hold up, the real cash flood hits when they clock out. Next, we're diving into the post office payday bonanza. You're gonna need a seatbelt. The lucrative afterlife, books, speeches, and consulting gigs.
That blockbuster book deal for the Obamas. After a heated bidding war between major publishers, Penguin Random House landing the rights to the former president and first lady's memoirs, a deal worth a reportedly $60 million. I said that right, Robin. Yes, $60 million. And Cokie Roberts joins us now. And Cokie, we've seen that's a lot of money for 2 books or a few books.
A lot of money.
Yeah. How does this compare to other books from former presidents?
Well, President Clinton reportedly got $15 million, President Bush $10 million, Mrs. Clinton $8 million. So it's a lot more money, but it is eye-popping. I'm told that it probably includes foreign rights, and that both of the Obamas are very popular abroad, and so that they could make a lot of money off of their books selling them abroad.
Okay, imagine you've just waved goodbye to the White House or Capitol Hill. Time to kick back, right? Nope. Time to cash in. Step 1. The book deal. Michelle Obama's Becoming didn't just sell copies. It landed her and Barack a reported $65 million advance. That's not a memoir, that's a Powerball win. Hillary Clinton's Hard Choices, $14 million up front. These aren't dusty library books, they're golden tickets. Step 2. The speaking circuit. Bill Clinton has hauled in $500,000 for a single hour-long talk. Multiply that by 200-plus speeches since leaving office, and you're at $100 million. Barack? $400,000 a pop from Wall Street giants like Cantor Fitzgerald. Who's footing the bill? Banks, tech titans, the very industries they once had power over. Suspicious much? Then there's the cherry on top. Consulting and board seats. Former Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner joined a private equity firm post office. Senators slide into lobbying gigs or cushy corporate boards faster than you can say conflict of interest. Imagine Joe Rogan riffing, "You're refereeing the game." Then the players hire you for millions. That's not a job, that's a payoff. It's legal, sure, but it stinks. Why are corporations paying millions for a politician's wisdom? Is this just smart networking or a backroom deal we're not invited to? That's the shiny stuff, but the real dirt's hiding in the shadows. Insider trading and tax tricks are up next, and it's gonna get ugly. Insider trading and tax loopholes. The game behind the game.
Foundation thing, a sneaky tax way of making money.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a thing about charitable foundations, like everyone who's like really rich seems to have a foundation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the expert on that or anything else really, but I know that they certainly like get a whole bunch of tax breaks that you wouldn't get if you just started a business.
Now we're peeling back the curtain on the grimy stuff. Ever heard of the Stock Act? Congress passed it in 2012 to stop politicians from trading stocks with insider info. Noble idea until you realize it's toothless. Flashback to March 2020, COVID's about to tank the economy. Senator Richard Burr dumps up to $1.7 million in stocks days before the crash. Kelly Loeffler, millions sold. Same timing. Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, made $5 million on tech stocks while she shaped big tech laws. Coincidence? Come on. The Stock Act's loopholes let them trade through blind trusts, blind to us, not them. Then there's taxes. Politicians love preaching, pay your fair share. Meanwhile, their wealth vanishes into trusts, offshore accounts, and charitable foundations. The Obama Foundation has raised over $800 million since 2014. That sounds heroic, right? Dig deeper. In 2022, only 36% went to actual programs. The rest? Executive salaries, travel, glitzy events. Dave Smith nails it. It's a tax dodge with a halo. You're dodging taxes and trading stocks while we're stuck with the bill? That's gangster. They're not wrong. This is a different rulebook. How do they sleep at night knowing this? If they're beating the market this hard, why aren't we all invited to the party? Michelle's humility speech versus millionaire life.
She believed that all children, all people have value, that anyone can succeed if given the opportunity. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed.
Let's flash back to the 2024 DNC. Michelle Obama's up there, voice soft, saying her parents didn't aspire to wealth and were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. It's a tearjerker until Megyn Kelly jumps in. She's on her podcast asking questions. You're worth $70 million, Michelle. You live in a Martha's Vineyard mansion bigger than most schools. Your grandma might have been humble, but you're cashing Netflix checks. That $60 million book deal for Becoming, the $12 million estate, it's a far cry from just enough. It's a neon sign screaming hypocrisy. Can you preach modesty from a mansion? Does $70 million change who you really are? Can we trust these people when they come with such feigned transparency and hypocrisy? So they're stacking cash and telling us there's a limit. But who's policing this circus? Spoiler, no one. Next chapter's a wake-up call. The transparency black hole. Who's watching the Watchmen?
One thing I do is get rid of carried interest. One of the greatest provisions for people like me, to be honest with you. I give up a lot when I run because I knock out the tax code. And she could have done this years ago, by the way. She was a United States Senator. She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. And I do. You have provisions in the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump.
Here's where it gets infuriating. No one's holding these players accountable. Ethics committees, they're run by the politicians themselves. It's a bit like letting bank robbers guard the vault. Lobbying, it's a $4.1 billion machine in 2023. Corporations and unions flood campaigns with cash, then hire ex-officials as consultants. Take Mike Pompeo, post-State Department. He's advising foreign firms. Legal? Sure. Ethical? You tell me. The media is our last hope, but investigative journalism seems to be dying, replaced by hot takes and clickbait. The system's rigged, man. No one's got the guts to expose it. Dave Smith doubles down. They don't want transparency. It'd kill the hustle. Think about it. A 2021 insider investigation found 54 Congress members broke the Stock Act. Penalties? Slaps on the wrist. The cycle's locked. Power protects power, and we're left clueless. If they're policing themselves, who's really in charge? Can we trust a system that hides this much? Don't leave just yet. Can we actually fix this? Solutions are next, and they're gonna spark some fire. Can we stop politicians from cashing in? Is there a way out? Maybe if we fight for it. Idea 1, ban politicians from trading stocks. Period. If you write the laws, you don't get to profit off them. Simple. Idea 2, force public tax filings. You work for us, prove where your millions come from. Idea number 3, shut down the revolving door. No consulting gigs or lobbying for ex-officials from industries they regulated. Idea 4, kill corporate campaign cash. The Supreme Court's Citizens United ruling opened the floodgates. Time to slam them shut. But here's the thing. Congress won't vote against their own wallets. Change starts with us. Demand it, vote for it, and back groups digging into this mess to expose and solve it. Why bother? Trust. When it's gone, democracy's toast. Rogan and Smith get it. They're getting rich off us and we're the suckers. They're right, unless we flip the script. There it is, folks, the playbook exposed. Politicians turn public service into private fortunes, and we're footing the bill. From book deals to insider trades, it's a rigged game. So what do you think? Is this just capitalism doing its thing, or corruption in plain sight? Should we ban their stock trades? Tax the hell out of their foundations? Drop your take in the comments. Also, if this fired you up, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.